That's why my mom will collect change from the offering box if they didn't have change last week. Oh, you don't know her. And she marks the usher. Now you they collect today, eh? I see say change not day. Now 500 be this, so next week 200 naira and I go collect. If you forget, now from your hand I go collect more. So next week when she's looking for takpobuno, she doesn't say she will take it. Where up, mom? Give me 200 there. Don't say wait, he say ask takpobuno last week.
But so do you have any like I call them D-list or D-grade comedians coming on your show, or like a 1st of January show? Has that ever happened before?
Oh yes. We give upcoming comedians the platform because it's a huge platform.
It is massive.
You find leaders of the corporate world, captains of industries, leaders of thought, politicians and heads of government. They are in the hall, and so when you give that platform to a young comedian and he presses it upon them that he's good, it just skyrockets their career like that. So we give that opportunity to a lot of them. So beyond that, you have the spontaneity competition where young contestants come to show their skills to see if they can win the car. That also exposes them to the audience.
That's true.
For me, really, I've been there, done that, and I have the crown. So it's like helping to exactly
you have everything.
like Game of Thrones, you know. So it's just create the platform for them to grow.
Wow, I think that's just amazing, because even if I'm being very honest, I didn't even know that the show was doing that much. I just always heard, oh, January 1st show, and then you see clips on Instagram and stuff, and you catch a YouTube link here and there. But that, I think, is just unbelievably brilliant. So I'm going to deviate again a little bit. So, you know, with the whole, like, obviously the comedy scene, how it's grown, like you said, like it came from like just a handful of people to 2,000 comedians, and this whole politically correct society or politically incorrect that we live in. How have you found comedy, like almost like shape shifting to suit obviously the audience and stuff? Because it seems like some people are very, for lack of a better word, touchy-feely.
Okay, but no, stand-up comedy is a very dynamic act. The response to it is immediate. It's unlike if you have a band and you finish performing at a concert and people go, I think I like the band a bit. For comedy, as soon as you tell the joke, people can tell whether you're funny or not. So it's instantaneous. All right. The other thing is, there's a thin line between being funny and being offensive. And so a comedian has to learn the sensitivities. If you're in an audience where the people are homophobic, you need to be very careful. If you're in an audience where people are concerned about sex and gender, you need to be very careful. If you're in a place where people are very politically sensitive, you don't do jokes that then aggravate such. So for a comedian, your mind has to be open. You need to let the audience determine the kind of jokes that you tell.
Do you think that's happening though? Like
it's happening. Yes, it's happening. It's happening for a lot of people who know. So sometimes you get people who read it wrong, which is why one thing that a comedian must have is audience reading. You need to know the audience dynamics, know what the audience wants, what would offend the audience, and what should be okay. Like sometimes you tell a joke and somebody who is there is an albino.
Oh yeah, of course.
You stay away from those kind of jokes. Sometimes jokes of physical disability, you have to stay away from all those. So a comedian also has to filter his performance and the content that he uses, because everything is not funny.
Oh yeah, no, of course not. That's the thing. And I think sometimes it's like everybody just thinks that, you know, as it comes out of their mouth, then you know, it definitely has to be funny.
I get it,
Oh, that's brilliant.
When I was getting married, Basanjo told me a story. He said, "You see that man there?" I said, "Yes, sir." "He works with security." I said, "Yes, sir." "He got married." I said, "Yes, sir." I knew. He said, "Yes, I know you know." When he got married, he had his first child. I gave him 20,000 naira. I said, "Yes, sir, I remember, sir." He said, "Hey." Then he had the second child. I gave him 20,000 naira. Then he had the third child. Then I told him to bring me 20,000 naira. That if he has another one, he will bring another 20,000 naira. Because it looks like the money is encouraging him.
So on the 25th of August, you have Fine Alli. I love that name. I thought that was
because finally I'm here.
Finally,
so
yes. No. I love it because obviously when I heard the name, I was like, finally, it's
about to go down.
That's what you should come out with like a certain type of crown or like a robe, but like yeah, finally I'm here. So. Finally, is coming to the O2, guys. It's literally just there. You can't, you literally can't.
You can just come and swim across right now.
Yeah. Actually, no, please don't swim. It's London. Use a boat.
This is nothing. Mexicans go beyond this. Do you know how many people go to Spain with water bigger than this?
No, they won't allow you to swim here. You get arrested. You get arrested. So. 25th of August, you have finally coming to London. So obviously you told us about the name, but what should people expect from this show? Because everybody's heard this January 1st. Now it's coming to London. It's at our doorstep. So what would you tell our viewers that you want to come out?
Well, the thing is that January 1st is it's for the Lagos people.
Okay.
Now finally it's for London, for the people in the UK. Yeah. It's a show that will bring a lot of comedians together, but not just black comedians. So we're bringing white comedians as well, or people from different races. Some people with Arabic descent, people with Indian descent, someone with West Indian descent. So we bring in Ian Evan. We're having somebody from Uganda.
Nice.
Patrick Salvador.
Okay.
Yibo Koko is coming. He's a young.
That's a funny name.
He's a young comedian of my age.
Okay.
He's about 52, 53.
Okay.
We've been in the business together he's been 30 years also on stage, and so he's coming. So we're bringing experience to bear.
Yeah.
But for those people who are in London, you know Kojo.
Yes, we know Kojo.
So Kojo is also going to be part of it. Kojo is tearing everywhere up in the British Got Talent, you know, and he's going to be on, but we want to make it an Oscar kind of event.
Okay.
Oscar-like event. There'll be red carpet. There'll be red carpets. Ladies will come in evening dresses. I'm just giving you hints.
Yes, we're there with our grey hair. Yeah.
So there'll be red carpet, and we'll have flags of countries there, so that people can come and hold their flags and take pictures,
of course,
and represent. So you're going to rep your country, as it were. But it's going to be. We want it to be different. We don't want people to come there and feel like I'm coming for an African comedy. You're coming for comedy. Period.
Not just an event.
Not just an event. Yes. And to bring this home and seal it properly, we're bringing Two-Face Idibia.
Nice.
Two-Face Idibia, as you know, is a legend, and has music for days. So he's coming to perform a lot of the songs plus the African Queen.
Yes.
And we believe it's going to be an icing for the holidays. And the next day is bank holiday, we just believe that day will be something that will become a staple in the academic and the entertainment calendar of London.
My son had looked at me one day and said, "Hey, Daddy, so you have no job?" I said, "I have no job. How?" He said, "You have no job. When Mary wakes up and goes to work, you just sit down, you are chatting and watching movies." So I said, "For that thing that you have said, you are not going for summer." It's as if you are the one that will pay. Hey. Let me tell you one thing. The kind of money we were making in comedy, nobody would have known until these people came. I started living lao. In fact, I used to make so much money, I was suspecting myself. Basket Mouth and I went to do a show in Kwara. When they paid me 300,000 in 1997, and we put it in the boot. What's it how? In 1996, I was paid 1.6. Satzenbrow, when I did the tour for Satzenbrow, 1.6 million. Anyway, we put the money in the... So I told Basket, I said, let's go. Basket said, show don't finish. I said, yes. 3 hours. I said, Sonny Ade start playing now, and until dawn. Basket said, we'll die for this work. Oh. We'll die here.
That's amazing. So everybody else is like, don't book your date at all.
No. But you know, London is big. Holiday. London is big enough that you can have 2-3 concerts in London
on the same day.
And people will still come. Okay, look at it. You have Premiership matches.
Yes.
And the stadium is full.
It's so full, yes.
Then you go to the next stadium, it's full as well.
Yeah.
So there are plenty of people. Yeah. It's just getting people to each one tell one,
yes,
and say this night we're celebrating Africa, yes, we're celebrating black comedy, we're celebrating white comedy, we're celebrating comedy. So that's what we're looking at.
Yay! Oh my gosh, Alli Baba, thank you so much for your time. It has been amazing. I hope you guys have obviously listened and heard. I've learned quite a few things today. So guys, don't forget you can follow Alli Baba on all social media platforms.
Alli Baba GCFR.
GCFR. Can I ask what GCFR stands
God comes
for?
first, remember.
I like that. God comes first, remember. That's good. So Alli Baba GCFR. That is it from us today with 101. Till next time. Bye, guys. Bye.
And now, see, children of these days, how many of you laid on your father's bed? Raise your hand. That when you were growing up, you just come back from school and go to your father's bed and go, Daddy. The only time I laid on my father's bed was when he said, lie down and take your cane, lie down and take your cane. And my father, that was when I knew he does not know how to count. How many of you have chopped 12 strokes of the cane and your father is saying 1? Who taught you arithmetic? My father will start. Stop, he said, stop moving. I said, that's 12. He said, are you the one flogging?